control the lightning, couldn't control how soon we got on the field. We just had to make sure that when we got on the field, we were ready to play. So just thankful for the guys for that. And it's just a great day for Tallahassee, a great day for FAMU, a great day for these young men to be able to accomplish a goal that we set out for ourselves when we got together in August. So just elated for those guys and look forward to continuing this journey.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Dr. Ville.
Dr. Ville's inside the HBC Sports Lab. I know you in a celebration mode in a lot of ways, rightfully so. But wanted to ask you, what were the thoughts for the first question in terms of going forward and fourth down, coming out of the break?
Well, it was 4th and short. We tell our offensive line we're gonna go as they go, and we want to challenge them and see if we can get a yard. And I've said it multiple times. With the defense that we have, a lot of times it allows me to coach the game a little bit differently than maybe many people see. So I can be more conservative at times, not go for things and punt the ball to make them play, make them go to the long field, or even times like that I can be aggressive and try to take a chance and just wanted to see if we can ignite the team. We didn't get it, and obviously I knew right then that the call would be questioned, but I have the utmost confidence in our team and our players, and I think they know that, and that's why we made some of those decisions.
Well, quick follow-up, Dr. Ville's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. After you got the play, they scored, but then you got a huge run in my acclamation in terms of number 23 that ultimately was the MVP for 20 yards. It set up ultimately touchdown to answer. What were your thoughts of how big that play was?
Terrell, he's been playing really good football the last few weeks of the season. MVP of the Florida Classic, now again MVP of the SWAC championship game. He's a senior. He's did his time here and overcome a lot of adversity. Started the season as the third back, and is really taking the lead in that running back room. And just a huge runs by him there to set up that touchdown. Huge touchdown run there in the fourth quarter to really blow it open. And with Musa kind of battling still a little bit of a nagging shoulder injury, we got to rely heavily on our running game, and being able to run the ball like we did tonight really helped us.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll go right in here up front.
Yes, sir. Joshua Louder Television Network. Coach Simmons, congratulations on the win. And as it relates to your running game, how did you feel about your offensive line as the game progressed?
I think as we got in a rhythm, I think we were able to establish some things. We had a couple of guys go down, and this late in the season, like they did too. So you gotta be able to find a good combination of five that gives you a chance to do the things you need to do. And so again, we wanted to rely on those guys. I didn't feel that we were in a situation where we needed to just drop back and throw the ball a whole lot. So we really wanted to establish the run, try to wear those guys down, and really speed the game up, especially when you look at the lightning delays and trying to make sure that clock kept running. We wanted to really establish the ground game. So just proud of those guys up front. They made a deal with me. We scored that last drive on the ground that they'd all be here with me for the press conference, but we ended up taking the knee. But so glad that didn't happen because we wouldn't run out of the room.
In the back.
Coach, congratulations on the win. I know earlier this week you had talked about kind of playing a little bit with the chip on your back. You guys had so much to prove. You proved it tonight. You punched your ticket to the Celebration Bowl. Have you had a second to soak in the moment and really appreciate what you've accomplished?
Well, I try my best to be where my feet are and not ride the roller coaster. I think one of the things I got to work on is sometimes enjoying the moment. My mind immediately went to how we played and the mistakes that we got to fix. But I think it was right when Lovie Jenkins came up to me before that last drive and just said, "Coach, we did it." And that moment really set with me right then, because it came from one of the guys. It wasn't me thinking about the moment. It was our players really showing us that we got it done. And that's what it's about. It's about these young men who represent FAMU every single day, who bleed, who sweat, who cry to make the orange and green proud. And this championship is for these guys. I got Marquise Bell was on the sideline tonight. I got to talk to Xavier Smith on Zoom. And when you think about those guys and the foundation that they set way back in 2018, 19, just what they endured and being that close, to see the smile on Xavier Smith's face, it just warms my heart, and just to celebrate with our team because we finally accomplished a goal that we set out for ourselves a long time ago.
Gerald.
Hey, how you doing, Coach? Gerald Thomas, Tyler Democrat. First off, congratulations on the conference championship, Coach, SWAC championship. And that's what I actually wanted to ask you about. When you won the East, you said that's the one thing that eluded me in my coach career. Now you check off another box and get the SWAC championship. Just tell me about, just your journey just as a head coach, trying to fight for that conference title, and now you're able to hold the trophy and extend your season.
Well, I think the most rewarding thing for me is that I didn't, I didn't hold the trophy alone. Dr. Robinson, our president, was right there. And we gave him a game ball. They had some SWAC championship balls, and he said, "I didn't do anything." I said, "Yeah, you did. You did a lot." And just the support from the administration, our vice president, director of athletics, Tiffany Don Sykes, her administration, Rattler Nation, these players. This coaching staff, support staff. This is everyone's championship. For me, it's my first SWAC championship as a head coach, but I'm the last one on that list of people that I'm excited about and happy for. The commitment that was made by the Blueprint Intergovernmental Agency to get Bragg Stadium where it is today, to be able to host a SWAC championship game. All of those things, go into building a championship program. And so I don't want it to be lost that it's my first conference championship. I'm so thankful for Rattler Nation and what we've been able to accomplish together over these last 6 years.
And then, Coach, a quick follow-up, HBCU Celebration Bowl, and I know you're credited for Black College Football National Championship, but this time you get to go out there and actually play for it. Just tell me about, that opportunity. It's family's first time playing the game, and you want to get that Black College Football National Championship and go out there and play for it and prove that y'all on the top of HBCU football.
Well, yeah, that's the last box to check, and we checked every single box that we set out for ourselves this season, from winning the Orange Blossom Classic to beating all of our natural rivals, keeping our home win streak intact, winning the SWAC championship, and now finally the last one is the Celebration Bowl. So we just, we talked some weeks ago about, that new carrot, that next carrot, and the Celebration Bowl is that next carrot for us. And we'll enjoy it tonight. As always, with a bye week, we'll extend that 24-hour rule to 48 hours and let the guys really enjoy this and celebrate. But when we get back on Monday, it's go time. We understand what's at stake, and we're gonna be ready to go.
Charles.
Charles Bishop, Dr. Bills, inside the HBCU Sports Lab, and by all means, I want you to enjoy tonight, but if you could sort of preview the matchup. I think one of the things that we really take a look at with regards to the Celebration Bowl, we talked about traditionally the MEAC physicality going against the SWAC and things of that nature, but how do you think you match up with this Howard football team?
Well, I honestly haven't watched one snap of Howard. My focus was 100% on Prairie View A&M to make sure that we had this team prepared to play. Didn't do any good to focus on Howard if we didn't get it done today. And so now that this game is over with, I won't look at them tonight either. We're gonna enjoy this one. But once we get on the Howard, we'll assess them, and we'll do the same thing we've done 12 times this season. We'll put a solid game plan together. We'll make sure our guys understand what they do well and what we can exploit. And I think that's what every coach tries to do during game planning. So I know they're a MEAC team. We've spent 40 years in the MEAC, so we know the physicality. We know that's kind of been the SWAC versus MEAC is the physicality versus speed. Well, we made a conscious decision to build our team from the inside out. And so I think where people look at us and say we're a Florida team, we're fast, people will be kind of surprised by how strong we are as well. You look at our front four, you look at our offensive line, we really pride ourselves on the trenches. This big guy to my left is 225 pounds. Big Yance 245. So we want to be a physical football team that also has speed on the perimeter. And so I think we match up well against anybody in the country. And so I'm looking forward to the matchup. Larry Scott's a phenomenal football coach. He's done a great job there at Howard, and we're looking forward to getting to this conference championship. The national championship game. And Commissioner McClellan kind of gave me a little nod, which I know he's tired of answering that question about MEAC SWAC. So we're gonna make sure we bring it home for the SWAC this year.
Mike.
Coach, excuse my voice, it's the weather, so I appreciate it, but
Congratulations. If you probably haven't had a chance to reflect on it, but if there's any tweaks you want to do, if you have to go back and do this again, you do differently, what would those tweaks be, if anything, or what things would you be looking to change going into the Celebration Bowl? And yes, please be the first SWAC team to bring home a victory as well.
We'll be the second. Grambling brought one home.
Yeah, Grambling did bring one
in
home.
2016. But no, I mean, I wouldn't change a thing about this season.
Okay.
You know, I think you learn a lot from your mistakes. And as a head coach, I try to learn from my mistakes. Just like we try to get these guys to learn from the mistakes that they've made. And so, as we look at ourselves this season, we'll go back and just like we do every game, we'll assess what we did well. We'll assess what we need to improve upon. We'll have a plan for that going into the week. And in the earlier part of our preparation, that's really what the focus will be. It'll be really more on us, kind of cleaning up some things that we need to clean up on. And then as we get closer to game week, then we'll start focusing our attention more on Howard. But again, as far as, it's hard to say you would change something when you're 11-1. Again, we got now nation's longest win streak. And so thank you North Dakota State for knocking off Montana State for us. And now we boast the nation's longest home win streak at 20 games. And it's a testament to these guys and just their commitment to excellence and everything that they do. So now, would I change anything? Nah, I'll probably tell Terrell to cut his hair, but other than that.
We'll go right here.
Hi, Coach Will Brown, WJCT News in Jacksonville, Florida. 11 win seasons. It's been 24 years since the Rattlers have won 11 in a season. And this year's group is the 99 team, I think the 97 team, the 1961 team, I think the 1978 team. Those were all famous teams in the history of Florida A&M football. What is it that you think about this team that you hope and think the Rattler Nation will remember decades from now?
Well, I mean, in our first team meeting back in August, I told this group, we have a chance to be one of the best football teams that's ever played at FAMU. And now, I saw the vision. I don't know if they all did, but the goal was to make sure that we did the things that it takes to get it done. It's one thing to say you're talented, one thing to look at us and run around and see how big, fast, and strong we are. It's another thing to come together as a football team and have a commitment every single day to do the little things it takes to be the team of destiny. And I took my hat to these guys. Every day hasn't been easy. We're very demanding. They know how we are. But again, I do tip my hat to the seniors, the leadership council, because for the first time, they set a standard that they held up. And so it wasn't always Coach Simmons being the bad guy. It wasn't always the coaches being the bad guy. These guys were out there, running guys after practice, making guys clean up the locker room. They took charge. And I told them, as good as we are, this is still their team. I'm just in charge of kind of giving them a plan. But this is their football team. Mm-hmm. This is their victory. This is their SWAC championship. And they have a chance again to be mentioned with the 78 team, the 98 team, the teams that we honored when we first got here, and that's a special thing. But again, I think the one common denominator between all those teams is they finished it. And so to this point, we can talk about it, but unless we finish it, it doesn't mean anything. So we got to make sure we take care of business, and then we'll see what we'll let the fans talk about where this team ranks in the all-time Louisville FAMU football.
Go right here.
Keith Hadley, Things Up Podcast. We saw today where Riley went over 100 yards, first 100-yard reception night of the year. Could you speak about kind of being intentional about maybe targeting him and kind of maybe when he got hot, did you continue going to him?
Well, I tell you what, Marcus has battled a lot of injuries this season. And Coach Carter said this is the best week of practice Marcus has had all year. And he flew around all week long. You just saw that he was going to, be able to come in and play a great game. And so obviously he's a big-time player for us. He's one of our, most dominant and dynamic football players. And so we really want to get a chance to highlight him in the offense. It helps when we can get the ground game going. Terrell rips off a 20-yard run, then we rips off another 15-yard run. All of a sudden, those safeties start getting closer to the line of scrimmage. Now we get Marcus Riley running the 4-3-40 over the top. And that's good football. That's where the running game complements the passing game and vice versa. So when you look up and you got a Marcus Riley outside, a Jamaria Shareed, a Terrell Jennings in the backfield, that makes for a pretty potent offense, So again, we were kind of clicking on all cylinders tonight, and it was really good because again, we're still kind of slowly getting Moose back to his form. But as long as these guys play the way they played, and then the defense obviously continues to play at the level they played all season, it makes us a pretty complete football team.
Take a few more questions right here.
Coach, this has been a kind of funky day with the weather, the rain and all of that. So considering what the weather was before the game, and then you had the break where you got the guys for a little more than a half an hour. What was it like just trying to make sure that your guys stayed in the moment, in that frame of mind of game? It's not over yet.
Well, you probably wouldn't believe it, but I went to my office and closed the door. And again, this is a mature group, and so what I didn't want to do was go in there. First minute, we gotta wait 30 minutes. So there's no need to go in there and give this rah-rah speech. And then we wait 29 minutes and another strike hits. And no, we knew we were gonna talk to them the minute before we went back out. And so we had to go in the locker room, unwind, just kind of get themselves in their zone. And so we talk about adversity. We talk about controlling things that we can control. Again, we couldn't control when the lightning would hit. We only could control when they told us we can go back out. And so I went in after about a 45-minute delay and simply said, hey, look, we get a chance to go back out. When we go out, let's take care of business. And those guys locked in immediately. But that shows the maturity of this football team. So with the delay, we didn't huddle up and have a bunch of meetings. They went in the locker room, that's their home, and they kind of unwind. I'm sure some of them checked some scores and text their girlfriends and told them they'll be a little bit late to the party tonight because anticipate the game being over at 7. Now it's not gonna be over till 9. So I'm sure Javen called his hairstylist and told him that he'll get some gel put in later on tonight. But so again, just let the guys relax and have and just kind of get themselves back in the zone. The maturity of this team allows them to do that.